Hello, good morning students. Please subscribe the channel, drop a like, share and comment. This is dictation number 47 and 48 of Model Speed Dictation volume number 1 on the speed of 100 words per minute. Start. Sir, we are glad to discuss the finance bill and glad to see the finance minister because there is a lot of expectation when we see the finance minister these days after his recent speeches that if the bearer bonds do not succeed, then he may consider fresh taxation or fresh borrowings. Sir, so far as the finance bill is concerned, we are primarily concerned with the taxation proposals, and on the taxation proposals there are 4 points which I wish to mention first. The first point is regarding the imposition of import duty on newsprint, on which, as a result of a lot of discussion, the finance minister has given some relief to the small newspapers. But basically, the criticism remains that all the previous finance ministers had spared the newsprint which was imported, and ultimately this import duty on newsprint will really be a tax on newspapers, on information, on knowledge, on literacy. Therefore, it is not very desirable. When the budget gap as presented was more than rupees 1500 crores, to get only rupees 20 crores out of newsprint was not worth the effort. This will mean that the prices of newspapers may rise. This may mean that people have to rely on government controlled media. None of these consequences is desirable. The second point I wish to on the taxation proposals is that the finance minister has mentioned that some changes are to be made to provide power to the central government to exempt or reduce income tax or surtax in favor of people involved in the oil business. The line must be drawn somewhere, and we have to be very careful that in getting oil, which we need very much, we do not overstep the limit. This is a question of what consequences have to be given, total concessions have to be given, total exemption and total production sharing may not be desirable. Some line has to be drawn somewhere. The third point that I would like to make is that the finance minister has given concessions this time to the income taxpayers, not the small lower middle class people. Last time he gave some concessions to the people deriving income from the agricultural sector. Because of inflation, there has been a great accumulation of wealth among the really affluent, and therefore some measures apart from the concessions that have been given have to be taken. One measure is to tax the conspicuous consumption, and another corresponding measure is to give relief to the really poor, not merely 1% of the people who pay income tax. Now, so far as the taxation on the conspicuous consumption is concerned, there can be various measures that can be thought of. The prices of essential commodities are going up. every householder knows about that. So the concessions should not have been given only to poor but also to the middle class people who are facing hardships due to the high inflation and high prices. Sir, so far as the money provided for this plan is concerned, the central plan has increased by 17% and the total plan has increased by 20%. But the sixth plan is not on the basis of 1980 prices. In the last 2 years, inflation has increased to the extent of 30%. Therefore, the increase in real terms will not be very much. The problem is that so far as production is concerned, it is either in the agricultural sector or the industrial sector. In agricultural sector, the rain gods have been generous and the production has been good. Even then, we will have to ensure that we have to give a lot of emphasis to the agriculture. Another linked with it is the employment program. I have raised it before, and the finance minister had said that the planning commission was looking into it. Now the planning commission has also examined it, but ultimately the budget was reduced. It was said that the states will provide the matching amounts. I should have expected that the center will remain rupees 300 crores, and if the states were to provide another rupees 350 crores, that would have been desirable because we cannot solve this unemployment problem through the process that we are pursuing so far. Our growth rate has been more or less 3% over the decades. Unless we do something on the employment sector, we cannot really make any dent on the unemployment problem. Sir, there are certain figures of the allocations for the agricultural financial institutions which require careful examination. I find that this year the allocation is rupees 100 crores. But last year's revised allocation was rupees 200 crores. Now it is necessary that we do provide more funds for the agricultural sector because, as everybody knows, more employment can be generated in the productive agricultural sector. And the rough estimate is that if rupees 1 crore is invested in big industry, it will give employment to 100 people. In the light industry, it will give an employment to 1000 people, and in the agricultural sector to 3000 people. This is only a rough estimate, but nonetheless, this is the sector which is more important. I find that the bank credit to the agricultural sector had come down to 27% from 29% a year back. This is a trend which is disquieting. So far as the industry is concerned, last time also the finance minister said about the carrot and the sticky policy, and that the industrialists always come with a lot of demands for concessions and exemptions, and that considerable concessions had been given, but nonetheless the real response is not coming. In the case of agricultural sector, the response is from the rain gods. In the case of industrial sector, the response has to come both from the private sector or public sector.